So this GS's engine seems a little unhealthy, which is strange because before I bought it, it had a £550 service. Now I'm not sure the service was done. I've looked at a few things on the bike and there's a few red flags that I've seen. I have a receipt here for £549.84, which was basically a full service, including alternator belt, valve clearances, spark plugs, brake fluid, oil filter. But I don't think it's had all that stuff done. So I want to find out exactly what has or hasn't been done at all on this bike. To start off with, we're going to do a bit of a compression test and see kind of how healthy the engine is. And obviously that will involve removing the spark plugs. So we'd have a little look at those as well. So these spark plugs apparently were fitted in October. So not that long ago, maybe 5 months. And it's done about 1,500 miles. Now to me, the corrosion looks a bit more than that time frame and the mileage. So I'm not sure these have actually even been changed. Another thing I noticed, you can see down the threads here that it's black. Slightly same on this one. I noticed it sounded like it had a lack of compression when trying to start it. The spark plugs were not tight. In my opinion, it also looks like the crush washers have not really been crushed. So that may be the reason as to why it sounded like it had low compression, especially with the right-hand cylinder with this spark plug. I'll insert the video now of what it sounded like. So hopefully you heard what sounds like it's slightly offbeat with compression. Let's get a compression tester fitted and get it tested. That is just over 125 PSI. Right now, I have no idea what they're supposed to be. Let's test the other side. So that's 115-ish. So this side is lacking a little bit more than the other side. So let me write this down. So it's not lacking compression a massive amount compared to cylinder to cylinder. We're going to look now and see exactly what it's supposed to be. So annoyingly, 125 PSI is the highest I've got, and that's on what I would call cylinder 2. Cylinder 1, about 115. In the Haynes manual I have, it's saying that is poor. It should be 125 and higher for good. Anything lower than 125 PSI, poor. So it's poor. Now, if you go back and watch anything to do with the Triumph, you'll notice that had low compression, a lot of low compression, and that was due to incorrect valve clearances. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to take the rocker covers off and check the valve clearances. Once everything's been redone, we'll do another compression test at the end. But as it stands, I've got to check it. So that's the valve covers off. Now, that oil is really black for 1,500 miles. Obviously, when we drain the oil, we'll have a proper look at it. Now we need to get it to top dead center. So I'm going to take the cover off the front of the bike to check, one, the auxiliary belt, and also be able to turn the engine over. I would say that's new. which is good. I'm glad they've done something to the bike. Okay, so the engine on this side is now at top dead center, so we can now remove and replace to a newer style tensioner. So believe it or not, this bike's done 108,000 miles on the original left-hand tensioner, which is, I think it's probably unheard of, to be fair. Normally they're changed quite early on to this newer style, but we'll look at that when we get it out. So this is a new one, and we'll take a look at it. Basically got a plunger inside, and it's oil. It's got oil inside it basically that keeps pressure, and then as oil is fed into it, it will also lock the pressure in, so no more rattly timing chain on the left hand side. However, the one that's fitted, there's hardly any resistance there, and when the bike's turned off, it just loses its oil pressure, and that's because it's got a spring inside. So that's why we're changing that today. So let's get the new one fitted. Right, so we now have this engine at top dead center and the tensioner has been replaced. Now a quick little tip to see what tensioner you have without removing it. This is a 17mm, the new one is a 15mm. So if you just have a look at it and have a look at the spanner, or get a spanner on it and you'll know, but yeah. Hopefully we now don't have a rattle on startup. However, we do have slightly low compression. Now, this is your exhaust side, this is your intake side. Now we've got it at TDC, the other side is also at TDC, but one is on compression and one is not, or something along those lines. We have a bit of play in these, which is perfect. The other side is solid because this is the one that needs to be adjusted, and then we turn it over 360 degrees, and then the other one will be loose and this one will be tight. So what we want for the exhaust side is 0.3. So I've got some feeler gauges here. Now they recommend that you use a feeler gauge on each at the same time because they're fed by the same rocker. However, I cannot get any feeler gauge in here whatsoever. And on the intake, we're meant to have 0.15, which is what I have here. And I have, yes, I've got a bit of play, but I have no way whatsoever of getting a feeler gauge in there. So what we need to do is just adjust the clearances. So on these, you're just going to 10mm with a small Allen key to hold it in place, crack it off, and then once you've cracked it off, you now have the movement to adjust. So I'm going to set these up now, and we'll have a look in a sec. So there we have it. I've adjusted them, and now it's got a bit of resistance in there. Almost feels like you're attached to a magnet slightly as you're going in and out. And same on this one here. It's just enough for it to work. So now I can do the exhaust and then the other side. So where are we at so far? So far, we have confirmed that this side has slightly lower compression than the other side. The other side is just within the good range. We've done a chain tensioner for this side. We've also done the valve clearances on both. They both needed to be adjusted after he had a £550 service for this work. There's a few other telltale signs that I need to look through, and I will come back about that sort of stuff later on in the video. I've left the spark plugs out, but I do have brand new NGK spark plugs, and we're just about to drain the oil. The auxiliary belt looks new, which is, I'm glad they've changed potentially something, but those spark plugs really put me off with whether they've done some work or not. So let's get the oil drained and change our filter. So it's very black oil for 1,500 miles. So now we've serviced it, what I really want to do is test the compression again. Now, all we've done is the valve clearances and a chain tensioner and an oil change so far, but we had low compression on the other side, or lower compression than what we had on this side. So before we actually start the bike, while it's cold, I just want to test it again in the same scenario. Now, one thing to mention, I have not charged the battery since doing all this work. It is still the same charge it was when I got it running. So with maybe a better battery, it would turn over a bit quicker and potentially give us more, but hey, who knows? So we have just over 125 PSI. I need to work out the exact amount, but we've increased the compression on the side that was actually, it was in good condition. Let's test the other side. So now this is the cylinder we had a little bit of problem with. It was around 115 PSI and the other side at 125. So we're at 10 PSI down. So let's see if doing the clearances, the tensioner has fixed something. Okay, wow, so we have pretty much now the same as what the other side is. Like, they are pretty bang on together, and we've actually increased it more than 10 PSI. Probably increased it by about 15 to 20 PSI there, which I'm actually really happy with. That's probably about 130 PSI. So if we've increased it by 15 PSI just by doing valve clearances and a chain tensioner, hopefully the bike will feel better when it starts. So I'm just about to install the new spark plugs, and I have noticed they're actually different. The ones I've got are the ones recommended for the bike, and I've got no idea if these are actually recommended, but this one has 3 tips and that one only has 2. So let's get these fitted and see if it runs any better. So there we have it. We now serviced the bike, done a compression test twice, changed a few items, and I think the bike is better. All we need to do now is start the bike. I've already warmed it up. Check the oil level, everything is good. We're just gonna start it again, see what it sounds like when you start it. Okay, so she runs well, much better than before. So before, when I was trying to start it, there is a video at the beginning of this video that it almost sounded one side was doing more than the other. Now when it starts, it feels like both cylinders are actually starting the bike rather than just one cylinder doing most of the work. Even through the exhaust, one, it sounds better through the exhaust, and two, you can actually feel the back pressure being equal, whereas before it didn't quite feel equal going through the exhaust. So we have done 2 compression tests, confirmed we now have good compression. It's not in the great or the amazing, it's not in the good or the great side of it, the higher range, but the bike has done 108,000 miles. So we're not expecting it to be like it's a 10,000 mile bike. Valve clearances, they were out. Spark plugs, they were definitely older than 1,500 miles. The air filter, I haven't changed that yet, but I do know that doesn't look great either. Oil change has been done, and the chain tensioner, which has managed to last 108,000 miles and never be changed on a 1999 bike when they're a common problem, has also been changed. So now there's also no rattle when you start it from cold. Amazing. So next time, I'm hoping we're going to be getting the panniers on and maybe taking it for a little adventure depending on the weather. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe to follow more stuff on the GS.